Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about selling bras on Poshmark. I love to sell bras. I love to pick them up. Usually they are less expensive than even tops or jeans or whatever, so the cost of goods is quite low. Sale prices can be quite high. And another bonus is that I find them incredibly easy to photograph and list and prep and everything else. They're a very easy listing in my opinion. So today we're going to talk about what I look for in bras, how I go about searching the bra racks. We're going to talk about my top selling brands, the ones that I have access to, the ones that sell well for me, and this sort of general idea of how much I pay for them. We're also going to go through a few Bolo brands that if you ever do come across them, they are 100% worthy of picking up, as long as cost goods is good and condition is good, of course. That goes without saying. So first and foremost, what do I look at when I go to the thrift store? Now, my thrift stores price bras differently. My Goodwill, you can get them for $3.79. Usually they're under $5. Value Village price them up. They're usually priced more of the $10, $11, $12. There's a big difference there. And my local Talese, I believe that bras are $4. It might be $5 now. So I do have to be a little bit picky about what I pick up. So I'm going to show you something. So this is the bra I picked up from Goodwill last week on the 30% off sale. So the original price was $3.79. So whatever that is, I got to do the math real quick. $3.79 minus 30%. So we paid $2.65 for this bra. You can't go wrong. Now, what do I look for when I go through the racks? So I have it on the hanger still. So this is the rack. Okay? This is the aisle. That's the inside. It depends on your store. Now, normally the price tags are on one end. I like to look for new with tags items. A lot of bras will put it on here or on to the back here. So they'll be hanging down. So depending on where your rack is located, and some are really high and I don't like that, but I look on the bottoms to look to see if there's any kind of different tag hanging down, because that usually indicates the brand tag and it means newer tags, which is always better to get. Some people worry that used bras won't sell. They do, but you have to look at the condition. But to look for new with tags, it's a very easy thing to do. If your rack tends to be lower, like some of mine are, and the tags might be over here, I will look sort of over the top and do my rack thing and look for that different tag. Each store has a different tag. This is a Goodwill tag. My Talese doesn't tag their items. They might have a similar style of tag with the long rectangle. Value Village is a square. A square. More of a square tag. So brand tags tend to be a little bit different than that. Except for with Victoria's Secrets, you might actually have to look inside on the actual fabric tag, because sometimes that's where they attach the new with tags brand tag. So I always look for new with tags first because they do sell better. Another thing that I look for when I am looking at bras is condition. So this one is pretty good condition, just looking at it. You look to make sure that the elastics are still elastic. You look to see if the hook and eyes are in good repair. Nothing is falling out or not there. Put it back in. Okay. You look anywhere that there's this type of stuff. The underwires. Make sure there's no holes where the underwire comes out. Do all that. Make sure the cups are in good condition and that there's no pilling on this type of trim. That's where a lot of the pilling will take place. I don't like pilling, so I don't pick up the bras that are like that. One last thing I look for are the tags. If the tag is in really good repair, like this bra is in really great shape, like fantastic shape, I would say excellent, actually. I have made the mistake of having, especially with knits, because sometimes they're printed and that's worn off, or the tag is really tiny or it's ripped off. You don't necessarily want to pick those up because size is really important with bras. And this is a 42D cup, which is a good size to get. Small sizes still sell, so I would still look at them, especially if they're new with tags. So you're going to make sure that all the wires are in place, there's no pilling, the elastic is still elastic, the hook and eye is working well, and that you have a tag, where is it? The tag is in really good repair. That will help up the value of any bra that you pick up. So, depending on where you get your bras, this bra was only $2.65 at the time, if that was the right thing I said, but $3.79 for a bra that will sell. How much is my D selling? Probably about $25. That's that brand. They sell for about $25. Those are used ones. So to pay that price and flip it for $25 is more than adequate in my opinion. Some bras, like Wonder Bra, doesn't sell very well. I did sell one Airy bra. It was new with tags. I sold that for $30. So that was pretty good. When you can get it for under $5. I don't pick up bras from Value Village very often unless they're special. Because you know what? Otherwise I'm paying $10 to $12 for them. So that cuts into my profit. What are my top selling brands? So I'm going to talk about price-wise and the actual amount of bras that I've sold. So NYX, excuse me, NYX, Knix, does still sell. The value has come down a little bit. I did sell a new with tags Wing Woman bra for $61, but that was a couple years ago. Now they're not selling for nearly as much, so you have to be careful with your cost of goods because it's one of those brands that the thrift stores will mark up. So it's not really necessarily worth paying $12 for one if it's only going to be selling for $25. But NYX is still one of my top selling brands. I am going to put like little their tags so that you can see what they look like. The next one is Panache. I've sold this new with tags for $45. And again, I'm not spending more than $5 or $6 normally on a bra. That's another brand that I've sold a few of. Not like huge amounts, but a few. Another brand is Wacol. Now this one, you have to be careful with your cost of goods because, again, they're not selling for $50. They're selling for in around the $35. But that's used. So that's pretty darn good in my books. Another brand, Torrid, can sell for pretty good if depending on the style and the pattern. The better the pattern, the better the sale. But they have less value now than they used to, like all of Torrid for me. Another one, True Kind, can be good as long as you actually get your cost of goods down because they're selling in around the $27 to $30 mark. So, you know, that's not bad. I do recommend if you find any bras to go through the brands that you see and to do your comp search and your sell-through rate at the thrift store. Because you know what? There's brands out there that I've never heard of that, you know, it might be really good, but I don't bother with them. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't look up Wonder Bra because that's a Walmart brand and I'm not paying $10 used for something that's only going to sell for $15. I can't think of anything else off the top of my head, but for sure, go into the bra section, look at the brands they have available and the prices, and do some research and see if you can actually find something that is worth your while. At the thrift store, not only look in the bra section itself, look in the shapewear or the lingerie section, the sleepwear section where it's lots of teddies and things like that. You can find some really good shapewear, and you can find some other types of bras that they think are more corsets or bustiers that can sell for really good money as well. I just sold a Victoria's Secret, and it was like a top, but it was like a bustier top. It was like a bra. It had the hook and eye. It had a really nice tall neck with some rhinestones, and that sold for over $40, and I got that at Talese for $5, so I was really happy with that. All right, so bras, these are Bolo brands. So we're going to talk about, you know, like you have your Gucci and your Dolce & Gabbana, things like that, of course, will sell for a lot of money. Like I've got them $550, $440. If you find them, that's a start the car moment. Get the heck out of the thrift store with them. Pay for them first, but get out and get them listed. Another couple of different brands that I didn't know about that I found about One is Agent Provocateur. Bull, I'm just tearing that apart, but I will put the tag up here so you can see it. Another one is Bordel. That's up there. Those are selling for over $400, which is insane in my books. But if you can find them, 100%. Another one is Honey Burdette, sold for $360. Studio Pia sold for $350. So screenshot everywhere I've put the tag so you have that in your brain. Another thing to look at when you're looking at bras, the more complicated it looks, chances are it's a higher end. So lots of strappies, lace, studs, different types of fabrics. Velvet could be more, but the strappy, if it looks really complicated to get on, chances are it's worth some money. So when I am looking through those racks, I am looking for those details, of straps, of leather, of rhinestones, frilly lace and things like that, because that is a good indication that it might be something worthwhile. So other ones that are sort of middle of the road, you want to look at any Skims collabs because they still sell well. Dita Von Teese sells well for Love and Lemons, which is a clothing brand. Prima Donna, Fortnite, Pepper, Illumi can sell well as well. What other ones? I think I've talked about the rest of them already in my brands. One thing I did notice while doing research for this video is that bundles sell. So if you have the same bra in the same size, if you have a few of them, pardon me, bundle them up because they are selling. Because you know what? Women will find a bra that they love, that fits them, that is comfortable, that is whatever, and they want it in all different colors. So I noticed that La Senza, which is not a high-end brand, but there is a lot of 15 bras, size 34B, that sold for $245. So if you're getting those bras for $3, so 3 times 15 is 45, right? So 245, 45 into 40, 245, that's good. Nick's size, I don't know what size this was. New with tags, there was 4 of them, sold for $210. Excuse me, Victoria's Secret, 10 bras at size 34C, sold for $200. Victoria's Secret Pink, lot of 6 at 34A, so smaller sizes, $180. La Senza, 5 bras sold for $150. So bundling up the same size might also be a good way to, get a lot of profit. Something that I'm looking at when I go to look at bras. I don't seem to find the same sizes and the same brands though. And it's very important to keep the brand and the size the same, because a La Senza bra size 34B would be different than a Victoria's Secret size 34B, because welcome to women's sizing. So keep that in mind. So bundling of bras is something I'm looking into doing, especially when I can pick them up for $2 or $3. I think that's really smart to do. So when you're looking at bras, look for newer tags because that is always a better bet. Look for the condition. It's really important that the elastic is elastic. There's not a lot of pilling or wear. The hooks and eyes are working well, and that it has its brand tags intact so that the size is there, because it's much easier to sell it that way. Bundle them up if you have sizes that are together with the brands. Fantastic. Bundle them up. Try that. And if you happen upon one of those Bolo brands, let me know, because I would be ecstatic if I could find one of them, because that would be a really good, really good sale. Anyway, that is it for today. If you guys want any more videos like this, if you want me to do more of a dive into different categories, let me know what categories you would like. I chose bras because it's one of those things that people don't think about for some reason. And I don't want to make the market saturated with bras, because that wouldn't be good for me. But I think it's really good information to have. Anyway, that is it for today. I hope everybody has a fantastic week. It is Wednesday, so this will be up at 6 o'clock. And if you're following along every morning with me for my accountability, I'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye.